guys, it's Main here. So I wanted to go over my league start in last Epoch Season 2, Tombs of the Erased. Or rather, Cycle 2? I believe they go by cycles, not seasons or leagues or whatever. I'm going to say seasons because they say season in the game. They used to go by cycles. I don't know, man. Anyways, tangent aside, let's delve into it. First of all, what an absolute banger of a season so far. First of all, the ability to modify your echoes and pick the type of encounter you want to experience is amazing. Even if you don't use the woven ecosystem, you still have the Weaver tree, which lets you customize the type of content you want. I'm sure a lot of people join me in saying, goodbye Arena, am I right? Anyways, leave a comment if you hate Arena too. So far, I'm not too far into the endgame system just after day one, having just gotten to Empowered Monoliths myself at the end of last night off stream. So I don't think I can offer really a holistic overview of the system. However, I do only have praiseworthy comments to make at this time. The respec cost being so minimal in the Weaver tree is absolutely amazing and does wonders for my build ADHD and Indecision. Speaking of build ADHD, kind of the first day went very poorly or correctly, as you would in any ARPG. I started off with a build concept, wanted to go wholeheartedly into the build concept after ditching about 20 other build concepts, and then all of a sudden I get an absolutely amazing weapon drop and I just have to make a build around it. So I got this Firestarter torch off of a Nemesis during Axe. I'm going to let it speak for itself, and I hope you can understand how absolutely insane it is. It rolled a T6 mod on a weapon you can equip very early on. And my idea of playing Storm Werebear went right out the window. And so I had all these build planners, I had loot filters set up, I had the guides pulled up and everything, the passive trees, the skills. I even spec'd into Druid early game to make sure I really spec into Tornado Werebear. But then, you know, this thing threw everything out the window and I had to respec into Beastmaster, and I played Stormcrows. Obviously, there was a little bit of back and forth between then. I didn't really go straight into Stormcrows. I think I went into Thorn Totems for some reason. But then, you know, it just kind of took it from there. I looked up some build guides and I found someone on Maxroll, Binek QC. I'll link him in the description as well if you want to look at the build guide, but I kind of took little bits and pieces here and there to kind of go into it. So anyways, I thought I was going to do Storm Werebear from Dredge channel. I had the planners ready, all that stuff, and then that torch dropped, and it was just it did so much damage. It blasted through Axe, it blasted through early monoliths. I was able to farm 90 monoliths with that weapon. It was absolutely insane. So I swapped builds with that absolute behemoth of a weapon. They carried me to 90 monos, and then eventually I switched over to the cleaver that was mentioned in the build guide by Binek. So yeah, I used that instead. Man, but talking about that weapon, when I tell you this thing felt like butter, oh man, I am not lying. I cut through those Axe, I cut through those early monoliths like it was absolutely nothing. Survivability didn't really it wasn't really much of a problem until I got into later monoliths and into like empowered monoliths. So, you know, it was fine. I will almost certainly say that was entirely due to me also getting a Bastion of Honor in Axe. I'll let that speak for itself. So I got a Firestarter's Torch with a T6 mod and another flat spell damage mod as well on it, and global crit multi. And then I also had a Bastion of Honor drop. Anyways, it was a great first day. I don't think it could have gone any better. And I'm truly living the ARPG dream of anyone when I say, you know, you want to commit to a build and then something else happens and then you stick with that new idea. And then here you are. Welcome to playing an ARPG. Am I right? So yeah, I was able to do some campaign skips. I did some early monolith blasting. I did a bit of party play with my pals in Discord. And the only problem I really had was trying to find a build I really wanted to play. And I just went, screw it, all in on Stormcrows. Yeah. I guess the only thing I really differed from the build guide from Maxroll is I wanted to experiment with the new the woven idols. I found one that was class specific for Primalist. I can't remember what the first mod was on it. I can throw it up on the screen here, but I did use it did have like lightning damage on it, and when I used the like the memory amber, the Weaver's Will on the idol, I think it rolled flat spell damage and it rolled up to T6 of that, so it had like +7s flat minion spell damage, which I don't know truly how good it is in the calculations, but I'm assuming it's pretty good compared to the recommended idols were just straight defense and related to a relic that I do not have yet. So I went with the damage just to blast through the early monoliths, and you know, it worked pretty well. Anyways, I just want to say I haven't had this much fun in an ARPG since I truly can't remember. I guess Delirium League Path of Exile 2, or Path of Exile 1. I can go on and on about Last Epoch's crafting system and how much quality of life they've added this season. For example, the auto transfer to Forge for the crafting shards, glyphs, and runes. Man, what a game changer that is. I remember introducing someone to this game and he didn't realize that there was a transfer system, and so he had his entire inventory full of glyphs, runes, and crafting shards, and he had no idea what to do with them until I showed him the transfer button. He's like, oh my god, that's amazing. So now that is automatically transferred over to storage, assuming you have those options ticked in the gameplay settings. Wow, absolutely amazing, wonderful change. Or another quality of life thing, how the Weaver Tree lets you block specific encounters in the monoliths, like I mentioned earlier, blocking arena. Fantastic, right? Or, you know, spawning more loot lizards, or spawning more champions, or more exiled mages or nemesis, whatever you want. Literally, anything's your oyster. This game is amazing. I love the endgame system so far. Or even the ease of copying and pasting a loot filter or editing it on the fly. This game has matured so much since I last played it. So much quality of life has been added to it. And I think this has surpassed any other ARPG as my #1 in terms of gameplay so far. I don't know. It's amazing. I don't want to fully commit to that because, you know, things change. New seasons are added to different games. Maybe that takes #1 spot, but so far Last Epoch has done nothing but amaze me so far with this season. This patch even convinced me I had to buy the highest tier supporter pack because #1, compared to other games, it's pretty cheap and they absolutely deserve it with how much they cooked in this update. Anyways, guys, this is really my first video really delving into the ARPG content as a creator. I would much appreciate if you guys drop a like, leave a comment, and subscribe to help the channel grow. I look forward to playing the season some more and giving some more overview of my days as the season goes on. I will catch you all in the next video. Have a great day. And out.